That Palestinians must be free, and that Israel's continuous attacks on Palestine is nothing less than a genocide that has escalated in the last 3 months, but has been going on for much longer. We are here today as, within our lifetime, as healthcare workers for Palestine, and over 140 endorsing organizations. To say enough is enough. We are sick and tired of our tax dollars being used to kill our families back home. We are sick and tired of witnessing Palestinians be murdered with impunity. And so we are proud of the healthcare workers who stand with us today from across the country and across the world to say that anybody who calls himself a healthcare worker should be standing against the genocide in Gaza.
We are all Palestinian. We are all Palestinian. We are all Palestinian.
I'm the son of 2 Palestinian doctors and the grandson of Yaoub Hawash, a Nabulsi cardiologist who led the ICU at the Nablus Government Hospital for decades. They, like so many of the doctors here and in our coalition, have sacrificed so much to preserve the health of so many. Meanwhile, our elected officials are doing so much to destroy the lives of so many. Each day with their silence, their thinly veiled lies, and their open support, they endorse, encourage, and accelerate the genocide of the Palestinian people. I want to share with you a first-person account from Dr. John Kaler, a pediatrician in our coalition currently in Rafah in Gaza. His words serve as a stark reminder of the hell on earth unleashed on the people of Gaza by the United States and Israel. In the words of Dr. Kaler, I am currently in Rafah, southern Gaza. The conditions on the ground resemble a scene in a post-apocalyptic movie. Tens of thousands of people crowded into makeshift tents. In Khan Yunis, the sound of drones, missiles, and small arms fire is the wake-up call for tens of thousands of children. They then either wait in long lines endlessly for basic essentials or walk around aimlessly. This is the refugee curse. Wait and walk and wait some more. There is currently an ever-growing outbreak of RSV-related acute respiratory illness. The most troublesome manifestation is bronchiolitis. In the past 2 days, I've seen 75 children, all under 3. The majority under 1, and a significant percentage under 3 months.
What brings you out here today?
The death and destruction of innocent people. Too much suffering.
Yeah.
Too much guilt.
So being that today's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, what do you think you would say about Biden and about all these Nazis who continue this to Israel?
He would be horrified. He'd be horrified. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I don't even understand how Israelis put up with it. Why aren't they ashamed? Why aren't they ashamed? We're ashamed. We are complicit. Our tax dollars are making it happen. We can stop this. We can stop it if we withdrew the money for the bombs and the poison and the surveillance equipment.
Now, more than ever, we must heed his call and the call of hundreds of other doctors in Gaza, especially those of the brave Palestinian doctors who have risked and lost it all in the name of their oath to do no harm. We must raise our collective voice in uproar against this brutal assault on humanity, an assault waged by Israel and funded by the United States. The time for complacency is over. We must not wait silently while their bombings overflow hospitals to the point where there is no anesthesia. when there are no operating tables left and surgeries being performed on bloody ground.
Before we begin marching, we need volunteers to hold up these 6 stretchers that we made that have models of Palestinian bodies. When Palestinians are killed in Palestine, when they are martyred, when their blood spills, they are wrapped in the Palestinian flag and they are carried on the shoulders of our people throughout the march.
We are no strangers to death. From serving on the front lines of the COVID pandemic to the front lines of the broadcasted genocide of our own people, we understand death is both precarious and mundane, both random and calculated. In every death, every single Palestinian death, we are reminded of our own death, of our own mortality. But who produces life and death? The hospitals that once called us heroes and essential now tell us that we're replaceable. Especially if we question the hypocrisy of the so-called commitment to do no harm. They threaten us with surveillance, with expulsions, with suspensions, with blacklists, while colluding with the same institutions, bombing our colleagues across oceans, across borders we already know exist to suffocate us.
As medical students and the future of healthcare, we stand firmly with our oath to do no harm. We are past the era in which medicine was viewed as separate from global politics. As the healers of society, we will continue to demand accountability from our medical institutions who have remained silent throughout, to uphold their mission and commitment to justice and health for all, no matter where they are and no matter what color their skin is.
What do you think Martin Luther King Jr. would say today about Biden and all these politicians who are supporting Israel?
He would be furious. They celebrate Martin Luther King Day and use his quotes, but they don't adhere by his lived experience and rules. And he would be ashamed that it's so many decades later and we're still doing this.
As a doctor, I've been fortunate to do several medical mission trips, serving victims of war and natural disasters, from Haiti to Syria, the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh, Swat in northern Pakistan, to the Bahamas after Hurricane Dorian. There are some images and stories that you can never forget. Haitian children chewing on sugarcane for breakfast, their only subsistence, not knowing when their next meal would come. Rohingya refugees fleeing torture, rape, and terror in Myanmar. Syrian orphans freezing cold without anyone to make a wood fire, eating grass. The sadness of all children living in refugee camps without a soccer ball or a doll to play with. Their hopes and dreams decimated to dirty well water, porta potties shared by thousands, long lines at the UN Food Distribution Center. And as an Indian, I can never erase the memory of children living in the slums of Mumbai, in makeshift houses made of scraps of cardboard and metal, a life destined to begging on the streets, child labor, or human trafficking. And under the rubble of Gaza, I see my daughter. In Reem and every sweet child of Gaza, I see my daughter, and I weep.
The horrors that we're seeing in Gaza every day, it's new, unprecedented, and they are satanic. I'm a fan of the 1960s group, MC5, from Detroit. In their concert, and some of my brothers and sisters here will know, they will stop and say to the audience, "Brothers and sisters, The time has come for each and every one of you to decide whether you are going to be the problem or whether you're going to be the solution. You must choose, brothers and sisters. You must choose. It takes 5 seconds. 5 seconds of decision. 5 seconds for you to realize your purpose here on Earth, on this planet. It takes 5 seconds. And it's time to move. It's time to get down with it. And I ask you, are you ready to testify?
Palestinians has been ongoing for 75 years with support by the U.S., which uses Israel as an essential military, economic, and political foothold in the Middle East to promote U.S. capitalist and imperialist interests. Just this week, the U.S. began bombing Yemen. Biden will bomb Yemen to protect capitalist interests and potentially escalate the current genocide of Palestinians into a regional war that will continue to bring misery and death to the people in the Middle East. But we are millions all over the world who say no. We say no to the genocide, no to the ethnic cleansing, and no to bombing.
We are witnessing a genocide. We have witnessed 100 days. We have witnessed 360 attacks on healthcare facilities. We have witnessed 375 healthcare workers killed with their families. 6 ambulances functioning for 2 million people. We are witnessing injustice in front of our eyes. We are witnessing the destruction of infrastructure and water supply. One that has already been compromised for decades. For decades. We are witnessing a system that has collapsed. 65,000 injured. 11,000 children with their limbs amputated. They are purposefully starving a population of over 2 million. Let me repeat. They are purposefully starving a population of over 2 million. 25,000 children. We have witnessed 25,000 children become orphaned and lose their parents. We have witnessed the malicious intent that our siblings in South Africa have so eloquently highlighted, the genocidal intent to flatten Gaza and to deal with the human animals.
For decades, Gaza has been at the forefront of our anti-colonial resistance. Gaza continues to expose the hypocrisy and bigotry of world leaders. Many of us Palestinians and Arabs know now more personally what dehumanization actually means. That the wounding of and loss of our children, the cries of our mothers and the leveling of cities doesn't mean anything to those of power. We know now that international law is toothless, that equal rights are nonsense, and that racialized colonization is the norm. The Zionist project aims to crush our souls. It aims to infect our minds and hearts to quell our resistance. They think that these psychological tactics will scare us, or that their propaganda and fake news are airtight. They think we will burn out. Well, they picked the wrong nation.
Maybe he's recording for personal use.
You got it? You can't do that.